cannons, boy. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking Bobby Latte, Stank Bastard, and Samurai Lee. You ain't never seen no her before, no podcast like this. These boys they entertain you, then take you on road trips, go to other cities, raid and pillage, watch the Bucs kick ass. If we in the stands and fans talk shit, we gon' whoop them fans. You'll see us in the red and pewter with the white and black, might be high.
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Monday, January 13th, 2025, and you're watching the Loose Cannons podcast. I'm your boy, Sammer, hanging out with Stanker. It is not a victory Monday, unfortunately. We got to talk about this game. Before I forget, though, if you are new, please hit the subscribe button on your way out, and don't forget to leave us a comment and give us your thoughts on how the season ended, or what you think we should do moving forward, or just vent. And if you are a regular, don't forget to hit the like button and leave us a comment as well, and hit the bell icon, because if you do that, you'll never miss an episode. You'll always be here when we go live, which is every single time we ever do a show. So that's really, working in your favor. But all right, Stank, last night was Wildcard, Bucs, Commanders at Raymond James. Red lights, beautiful atmosphere in my opinion. Bit too many Commander fans for my liking, about 50%. Felt like a home game for them at times. But Bucs lose at the end, 23-20. And I don't know how you thought about this, man, but it felt like the entire season was jam-packed into 4 quarters last night. Everything that went wrong and went well and didn't happen and did happen and fought, bit us in the butt and all of it. Everything happened all in one game, 4 quarters worth of the 2024 season, and the Bucs season's over. Not the way we wanted it to end, but yeah. Did you kind of feel that too? That it was like the whole season just jam packed into one game like that? It just all the ups and downs of the entire year all occurred in a microcosm yesterday for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Before I make a statement, Bucs Basement with the $10 super chat. Thank you, Bucs Basement. He said Bucs fans are okay with mediocrity and it's troubling. Bowles has, as a head coach, is 0-5 in primetime games, 2-8 when the scores barely matter, 500 as a head coach, abysmal time management. He's not winning us any championships. Thank you for the super chat. We will speak to that. We're going to get into Todd Bowles and his future, Liam Cohen, all that jazz, but appreciate the super chat. Back to your question. Yeah, it was all our warts were in the lights last night, and all the mistakes that we've made kind of came back to haunt us. Penalties, just not being on point, on assignment, all those things came back to bite us last night. Caused us a critical turnover. It wasn't just the offense, by the way. Defensively, and you really don't see it on camera, but if you're at the game, you saw the defense was lining up late every single play. I think they played out of their asses in the red zone, but there was a lot of communication issues on both sides of the ball, and just wasn't in there last night. And yeah, Washington fans came out in numbers. I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but there's definitely a good 20,000 Redskins fans in the house. And go ahead, Saga Nassau, have your laughs. You deserve it. You won. We lost. We're terrible. You're the greatest. And it's
funny. I find it funny how cocky the Commanders fans are.
No,
I'm just saying it. Considering what they've been through, it's a bit odd to be out there puffing your chest out, and with all the shit that's going on in their organization. It's just funny to me, and so I kind of just don't pay them much attention. They're walking by. They had a couple of dicks last night, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, Stank, it started in the first quarter, man. We had a drive that could have been extended. Jalen McMillan's been on point for the most part the last 5-6 weeks. He had a drop, a bad one, and it ended up killing a drive, in my opinion. And he ended up making up for
first drive of the game
on the next drive by catching a big 3rd down conversion. But that was a big one. And that, again, people wanted to talk about the time of possession in the first half, especially, and the entire game. But the way you kind of balance out time of possession is you you possess the ball yourself. And when you have an opportunity to extend drives, that's how you possess the ball longer. And we shot ourselves in the foot in the very first quarter. The offense went down the field. We got the field goal. It just and it just felt just out of sorts after that. And then they get the ball and they're able to do what they're doing. And I still like, people are critical of the defense because of the time possession and they're not getting stops and they didn't get punts. But you could see the game plan, Stank. It was possess the ball and play keep away from the Bucs offense so that we have a chance to win the game. And that means we're going to go on every single fourth down if it's under 5 or 5 or below. And it was a lot. So in other games where we were getting third down stops, these were third down stops, saying we stopped them on third down, but then they would go for fourth down. And even with that, and our offense absolutely doing nothing in terms of complimentary football the entire first half outside of that last drive, our defense only held them to 10 points in the first half. They did their job for the most part, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, you could have had a couple of sacks and this and that, but I don't know if you disagree with me, but did you not feel that Todd still had his guys in a position to make plays throughout that first half, especially, and in the second half? But they got to make the tackles. Elijah Cansey could have had a monster night, even though I think he had a really good night. He could have had a night out of like a storybook, the way he was in the backfield, around the quarterback. He had so many opportunities to make plays, misses the tackle. Yaya Diaby misses in tackles. Levante David played worldly. He heard the criticism. I like it. Good job. Great. I'm going to keep it up. But yeah, I just thought that they were in a position to make more plays, but the offense, especially the first half, I think they let down the defense. They really did let them down. They did what they were supposed to do. They held them to 10 points. And up until that last drive, where we finally decided to take what the defense was giving us, they were daring us to throw the ball. What happens? We put in Rashad, pass pro. We go into offense. We were passing the ball down the field. We go down the field. We score a touchdown. It's 10-10 at halftime. So that's a bit different. And I think the offense really didn't pull their weight. We'll talk specifically now about the first half, and then we'll go into the second half. But curious if you saw it today, because I kicked you out of the stadium after that first quarter. So I really don't know how you feel about this stuff.
I self-kicked myself out of my seat last night and tried to come back at the end, which I got blamed because, the Bucs dropped the fucking ball and didn't get into the end zone at the end too. So yeah, listen, I sacrificed for this team. Everything you said, is pretty much nail on the head. We'd made plays sporadically, but we just couldn't get them off the field. We were kind of getting to Jaden, but we just couldn't get him on the ground. It just seemed like one guy to the quarterback. Nobody was rallying, and he would make our guy slip a sack, slip a tackle, find a guy streaking open. Dude made plays, man. He was ice cold out there too, and we just don't have the horses on defense. We don't. He was way too comfortable the entire game, even with Cansey being really our only pass rush. Way too comfortable. They had us figured out.
They still held him to 10 points. They still. And then when our offense,
time of possession matters, Sammer.
No, I get it. But here's my thing: when time of possession matters, but if your offense has the ball, when the Commanders scored, they have to kick it off to us. It's not like this make it make it take it, okay. And then when we stopped them on fourth down on their first drive, what did we do with it? We did nothing. So it's our offense's job to now complement the defense when they did do their job on a fourth down stop, or when they get the ball, they kick it off to us. You can't go 3 and out. You can't get a penalty and be behind the sticks 2nd and 21. That's where my criticism of it was, and we kept running the ball into the 8-man front, which I didn't understand. That like Liam Cohen they're giving you the pass, dude. We're good at it. And we saw what happened when we did it at the end of the first half. What happened, Stank? We go down the field, we get a touchdown. It was easy almost. And we never went back to that enough times, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't understand whether he's not giving Baker the ability to audible out of some of these run plays where they were giving us 10-man boxes. They were absolutely daring us to fucking throw the football. And we still were just ramming our heads into the wall, and Bucky had nowhere to run for a while. Loosened it up a little bit in the second half once we started hitting him with some of the passes, but they should have been way more quick to adjust to Washington's game plan. And like you said, even still, 10-10 at the half, we made enough plays to stay in the game, 20-20 in crunch time. But we just left so many plays out there, man. And the turnover that was a killer. And despite all that, the game was in our hands at the end. And the same issues just came back to life, like you said earlier.
So let's go back to that fumble, because that's what everyone's talking about for the most part. Yep. Okay. So we stopped them on 4th down. Okay. Inside the 10-yard line. We force it. We get the ball back, I think, at the 2-yard line, possibly the 3. I can't remember where it was. It was inside the 5. So there's a 4th down stop. Defense did their job. Offense needs to come out there. And even if you just move the ball 5, 6 plays, 7 plays, and you punt it, at least you kind of move that field. But we turned it over right back to them. Okay. Right back to them. So, and at this point, they've held them to 13 points. Okay. 3 points so far in the second half at that point. And it was following the same trend we've had the last few weeks, where we, bend and break a little bit in the first half, then second half, 3 points, 6 points, or 0. Okay. We held them to 3 points so far in that half. It was 13 points total. We fumbled the ball right back on a play that I don't understand. I don't know about you, Stank, but going back to high school, like, if you're inside the 10-yard line, you don't run pitches. You don't run anything where the ball is just thrown in the air outside of a forward pass. And even then, it's kind of iffy. In the NFL, I get it. You're going to throw some actual passes. But to call that play inside your 10-yard line, it just did not make sense to me. It was just such a weird, cute play to run. We were kind of starting to get Bucky going a little bit. He was getting 4, 4.5, 5 yards sometimes. I'd have been okay just run it back into the teeth of the defense at that point. But they ran that weird play, ends up being a fumble, and now you turn around. And even with that, the Commanders didn't score until the 4th down. It was an 8-play stand for the most part. And then at the end, the player that should have made that play was Antoine. Antoine did not make the play. So again, it's not necessarily the scheme. We did it to the 9th degree. We just couldn't do that last piece. And again, that's how it works. But I can't blame the defense for that touchdown. Honestly, at that point, the defense is held to 13 points.
No, nobody's blaming the defense for that touchdown.
But it goes into, we gave up 20 points. But that's what I'm saying. At the end of it, that point, before that fuck up, we'd held them to 13 points. And we stood on our head as a defense for the most part.
And back to your original point, and people are questioning the play call of the jet sweep. Graham Barton doesn't snap the ball at the wrong time. We've run that play with some success, and honestly, it was blocked up perfectly.
It was blocked up, correct?
Is it a risk? Is it risky? Okay, yeah, you could argue it's risky. I don't care, bro. Like, it's easy in hindsight to question the play call. It's execution. It came down to execution of that play. It came down to execution on the final drive. We did not execute well. The rookie shit his pants in critical moments. I don't hear him getting the blame for that one either. But I want to say I heard, the timing was off because of him. He's got to get that shit fixed. Otherwise, put him at guard and put Hainsey back in. I don't really care. I'm not married to him being the future of this team if he can't get his shit together.
In big moments too, Stank. Every single week, it feels like. When he makes a mistake, other games. Yeah, there are moments where he's had game-changing or game-altering penalties, fuck ups, whatever it is, and he's a rookie, so it's hard to really push it on it, right? But at the end of the day, that it's still a thing. It did happen. So, yeah, man, and that was the other play too. If we go fast forward to the fourth quarter, we've got that play where they're trying to kind of steal an extra 5 yards with the jump off sides, which people are like, why even do that? Why not run the ball? A lot of teams do that. A lot of teams have that kill. They have that that turbo, try to get a quick 5 yards, get them to jump off sides, and still have a play to run on top of that, right? We're no different. I had no problem with them trying to do that. That's fine. It's fair. But my problem maybe goes back one play before that. How about Bucky not just putting his head down and getting a half inch to get us the first down right there, instead of trying to be cute, jump, cut, to try to get a more dynamic play out of it. Just get the first down, kid. Get the first down, put your head down, and, it's second down there. Bucky's Bucky. I don't feel that he's a 25 carry guy. Okay, I love him. I just don't think, and you have a bigger back who could fall forward and get you a yard on accident. Put him in. Put in Tucker even if you want. If you don't want to be a Rashad guy, that's fine. But put in a bigger back who can go in on second down, straight up handoff, and just get the fucking first down.
That wasn't his fault either.
Yeah, I don't know what the play was. I don't know what that play was.
Again, a botched fucking play. The timing was off. it wasn't had nothing to do with Bucky. I think Bucky was trying to keep the clock.
I'm not saying that Bucky. I didn't say it was Bucky's fault.
On the yes, you did. On the first down play, you said
I'm saying it would have been nice to just get it, right? Just get it.
And I think he was just kind of making sure he stayed in bounds so the clock didn't stop. So they 2nd and 1, it should be an easy play. Okay. And people say that he audibled out of a QB sneak there. Why? Because they pinched inside. So the fuck what? That's what every team does to stop the sneak. It doesn't necessarily.
No, it wasn't. They RPO'd. It was an RPO play.
I'm talking about on the one where the third down play, where
the second down play was also a fuck up.
Right.
They
Again,
had
execution completely inexcusable. Inexcusable. But like you said, we've seen it all season. This shit has happened to this team. They've shot themselves in the foot at critical times. And this is just another example of that. And Washington didn't. They didn't play phenomenal.
No,
they made the plays that were there.
They didn't do anything special.
But there was no real critical errors on their part outside of Lattimore, absolutely molesting Mike Evans in the end zone because he can't cover him. But can you blame him for that either? He's a child. So yeah. But besides that, everything kind of swayed in Washington's favor. The entire first half was penalty ridden, and it was all on us. So we had to play an uphill battle. We fought ourselves. We fought the refs, and ain't no going back now, brother. This is. We made our bed. We're living with it, and we can nitpick this entire game if you want to. I don't really care to be honest with you. I don't really care to talk about this game ad nauseum. Maybe some other people want to call in, and we will have a call-in segment here. It's going to be, towards the end of the show, and feel free to get it off your chest and get the poison out. But it's the off season now. It's the off season. And, I think what everybody's been talking about is where's this organization going from here?
So before we dive into that a little bit, I do want to ask you something because, again, we didn't talk since after the game. We kind of just let it simmer, right? We've been throwing the ball about 33 and a half times. I think we averaged like 33 and a half passing attempts from Baker. Last night, he threw the ball 18 times. I didn't understand the game plan. And I could understand it if you were expecting them to play cover 3 and not try to take away our run and this and that. And so when you saw that didn't happen, like, why did we still continue to run the ball when I thought that, I don't think the recipe is for Baker to throw the ball 18 times. I don't think that's how we win. And I love Liam Cohen. First-year play caller. I couldn't be happier with him, honestly. What he's done as a first-year play caller, also losing Chris Godwin, not having Mike Evans and Chris Godwin at the same time, bringing Jalen McMillan along, figuring out how to use a guy like Cade Otton as your number one option, all those things. But he had some moments this year where it felt like what we saw yesterday, and yesterday was more of a bigger, just kind of, what are we doing scenario? And a lot of those things happen in that third, fourth quarter. I didn't understand. Not letting Baker do his thing and let Baker just throw the ball. And some of those run plays are weird, but I still think, Stank, I expect this team to score more than 20 points a game. We're averaging like 28 points a game. And
can't do that when you don't have the ball.
But when they had the ball, they shot themselves in the foot. Some of it
in the first half.
But we had penalties and weird plays in the second half as well. That, again, execution and coaching. I'm not saying it's just Liam, obviously, but there's still like moments in where you just fucking go, dude. Just go. Use the guys you have.
We got called on a chop block, which you see that play often.
The reason they called it is because it was a high-low. You can't do the high-low.
I get it.
Bad timing at that point. It's like, come on, man.
The point is, they were very, very nitpicky against us, and it not even close to that. Didn't reflect that whatsoever, on Washington. Frustrating. By the way, Westside Sports $4.99 super chat. Sid Barton admitted that he snapped the ball wrong. Cadence on the wrong cadence. That's what caused the botch snap on the jet sweep. Yeah, the rookie had essentially cost us the game. He cost us the game, and it was too close. And those things are just magnified when you make those types of mistakes in situations like that. Cannot fucking happen. They can't. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care what type of asset you've been to the run game. You can't do that shit, or you just honestly need to see the fucking bench.
The thing is, Stank, in the playoffs, you have to be very efficient and careful with every possession you get. You got 7 last night. they could have been way more efficient, in my opinion, with those 7. They could have been better from the execution standpoint, better from a focus standpoint, better from a coaching standpoint, better from a game plan standpoint, all of those things. Because in the playoffs, that's it. That's all you got. And so I feel like they didn't take it. I don't want to say they didn't take it seriously enough, but it didn't weigh heavily enough for them to, because they've gone games where they're, getting 11, 12 possessions. And they're like, those 3 or 4 that we fuck up on, it's cool. Those other 7, we're going to dominate. And they kind of they have that feeling of, we'll just turn it on. And they just couldn't do that yesterday. And it also against a defense that's not that great. Not that great of a defense, in my opinion. So it just felt like they left too much out there, man. We could have scored 28 points. If we don't fumble that ball inside the 10-yard line, I was talking to Corey and Nashville about this. I really think we win this game and hold them to 13 points because they got that free 7 points there. It was just and we go down the field, we score. It's a much different ball game, man. They have to kind of leave their weird run offense or nickel and diamond thing and go down the field. Does that mean that we stop them going down the field? I don't know. We had fucking Jamel Dean go down. We got Josh Hayes out there again. Funderburk is playing. Antoine doesn't look 100%. Merriweather not playing great. No middle linebacker to play next to Levante. Yaya getting there, but not getting there. And like you said, Cansey being really the only guy up the middle. And then he's not making the plays every time as well. And the defense, again, they did enough, but also they had moments where you're like, what are you doing? And some moments you're like, they did what they should have done. And what was the play you didn't like that you were yelling about with the two spies on 4th down or 3rd down or something like that?
Oh, we gave the ball back to them with 4 minutes left. It's 3rd and 8. And we kind of drop back and play safe and give up a 22-yard fucking pass, which essentially puts them right on the edge of field goal range. Safe is always death. In a situation like that, where Jaden's essentially kind of picked us apart, you got to switch up. You have to have a fastball, and we never really showed it yesterday. I think they were scared of him hurting us with the feet, which is why they put 2 spies in at that point. But you have him in a critical situation, and you let him really just sit back there. The pass rush at the fourth quarter, terrible. Yeah, terrible. There was nothing fucking there. Right?
They must have been gassed too, those things. They were out there a lot, dude.
They were.
So at that point, I was like, gotta. And then when we did call the blitzes, they were just a hair late every single time. Or like, we had 2 stops, in my opinion, that were actual stops that we got called for penalties on. We had the Zion McCullum pass interference where the ball was over the head, uncatchable, hit the white chalk in the end zone, man. It wasn't going to be caught. That's a 3rd and 10. That was a stop. Okay. And even with that, they get the ball inside the 1 yard line. 4 plays later, we stopped and we got the ball back to the offense. So that was a stop that didn't necessarily count. Then we had the holding on the sack where we had Jaden Daniels in the grasp, and they called a holding penalty before the pass was thrown, even though the hold didn't occur until after the quarterback was in the grasp. That shouldn't have been called a penalty. That wasn't a penalty. It just wasn't. And those 2, that would have been 4th and 20 something. They weren't going to go for that 4th down. They were out of field goal range. He lost 11 yards on that fucking sack. What did it turn into? 5 yards forward, 1st down. So it was a whole season, man. It was a whole season in one game.
Yeah. Again, you and others may need to go through this play by play and talk about where we failed. Doesn't fucking matter. We all saw what happened. We all saw where this team failed. Not enough horses on defense. And, we're lucky to back into the playoffs. And I think we're probably a fairly equal in regards to skill with Washington, but I didn't see us progressing much further than this, outside of us just absolutely catching fire.
We didn't have the horses on defense to do much more.
No, man, no. Yeah. I told somebody earlier, bro. We signed Ryan Neal. Okay, we signed Shaq Barrett out of retirement off the couch. Those are desperation moves. This defense just doesn't have it in it. We injuries. And even when we got a guy like Antoine back yesterday, that guy's not going to be what he's able to be. No. Not to mention he's surrounded by guys who don't belong on the field. You got Deion Jones out there. Actually played a pretty good fucking game.
Could have had a pick. Could have had a
signed
pick
off the street. Right. Yeah. You got Josh Hayes, who's a special teamer out there getting starters reps. So it's easy to criticize the defense. It's easy to fall back to what you guys always do, which is say fire Todd Bowles, because the defense, is a liability, but the offense also was a liability yesterday. You got to point the finger at both sides of it. The only unit that really did their job yesterday was special teams, surprisingly.
I mean, but the thing for me is you could be critical of Todd, you could be critical of the scheme and different moments, the game management.
Critical of this fucking cigar that won't stay fucking lit.
I get all that shit, but at the end of the day, I think you tweeted something similar. Not sure how much more anyone else could have gotten out of the guys he had to trot out week in and week out. I mean, he didn't have his secondary together, not one game, not once. We had half of a linebacker most of the time. We'd have Levante showing up here and there. And there's no blame on that. He's an older guy. I get it. You're not always going to get Levante every single week. It's fine. I get it. No pass rush to speak of on the outside. Kalijah Kancey, who missed 4 or 5 games, somehow led our team with fucking sacks. Okay? He's an interior fucking defensive lineman. So outside of 2 or 3 really good players on this defense and none on the back end, I'm not sure how much better anyone could have coached this team. So you look at it from from the outside, like a little further back. Winning 10 games kind of impressive, honestly. It's kind of impressive winning 10 games. And then you factor in no Chris Godwin. You factor in Mike Evans also not being out there. You factor in the weird losing streak that they went on in the middle of the season. All those things considered, man, it's like, yeah. And this defense was not going to do anything damage-wise in the playoffs. They weren't going to go to the Super Bowl on this. It was going to be some ridiculous fucking miracle. And like you said, Stank, they were forced to sign a guy who they told to kick rocks months ago. They told Ryan Neal to fucking fuck off, basically. And they were like, hey, we kind of need you to come back. Like, that tells you, like, they knew that they were up against the wall. And then that Hall injury, like I said, that first week, man, against Washington, that injured that cornerback Hall was going to be a big fucking thing because that was the guy that they brought in as the insurance plan for Jamel Dean and his knees. And he was gone in the first half of the first game of the season. So,
people keep on bringing up the Lions as an example. Lions have much better depth quality. They weren't signing guys like Ryan Neal off the field. They didn't have 3 guys starting off the streets like we did. Shaq Barrett, Ryan Neal, Deion Jones. These are guys that off the street that we are starting. Nobody wanted. Nobody wanted. So
Mike Edwards
with that kind of crap. Okay. Yes. Todd absolutely has to take responsibility for being a very passive coach and not trusting these guys.
Would you trust them, Stank? Would you trust them?
I don't know. I don't know what I would do differently. I don't know what anybody else would do differently. On top of that, no real pass rush. Getting absolutely no edge pressure whatsoever unless you're bringing guys on blitzes and just having to manufacture. Somehow we still end up with 46, 47 sacks this year, which most of it was manufactured pressure. So, okay, he deserves criticism. Some of his game management, time management, all those things. I agree. I don't disagree with those people who are calling for his job. I personally don't think he should be fired. I personally hope, and I tweeted it out earlier, that Todd stays and that Liam stays and that we go draft heavy like a motherfucker and add pieces, add some talent. For the first time in 3 years, are able to spend some money on some quality free agents on the defensive side of the ball. Jason Light hasn't been able to do that. This entire personnel department's had their fucking arms tied behind their back because we went all in and won a Super Bowl.
Tom Brady, Ryan Jensen, all of these things.
All that.
Ali Marpet finally off, I think after last year or the year before that. So they've been in on these last 2 years have been house money. Let's go out there. Let's develop. Let's see what we do. And I don't think they were expecting to win games and win the division. They just didn't want to look like a dumpster fire. And we're in a division to where we accidentally can win the division because it's so bad. Still won 10 games this year. Like I said, I still think that's more impressive than people really want to fucking admit because of what we have. And you haven't been able to go out, like you said, Stank, and get an edge rusher. Go get a corner that's actually worth a damn. Go get a linebacker. Get anything from the outside of this building that's worth a damn. Outside of trying to find a guy who's a gem here and there. I mean, they found Bredesen on accident, again, on the offensive side. So now that they have this offseason to go in, I think now you can go and say, hey, Todd, you're not working with an empty cupboard anymore. You're going to get shit. Now you really have to fucking earn it. And I think at this point, was when I would say I would be more critical of Todd moving forward, because at that point he's going to have horses to run a defense. And people, by the way, like you said, the lines thing, it's funny they bring that up always as the example. They blitz more than us, and they run the same scheme because that DC was a player for Todd Bowles and runs his scheme. He's a little bit more aggressive, but he has better players. He also has a much better pass rush. And when he has Hutchinson in there, it's ridiculous. But also, take away the 4.5 sacks he had against us in one single game. He's having an okay season before he got injured. Not great, but as a unit, they are a very good pass rushing unit. It's a different comparison. And like you said, they have better depth. We were running guys that nobody... Mike Edwards, we're fans of the dude. Nobody wanted him. He was cut by 2 teams in one season before he got here.
That's 4 guys now. That's 4 guys off the streets. We had starting for us. 4 guys off the streets.
So, that's context, man. And I'm not saying this to defend Todd. I'm not saying he's not, worthy of any sort of criticism. But the people that bring up the same shit with him are wrong about a lot of that stuff. He's changed every single year. He has given 4th down control over to Liam Cohen. He's letting Liam do what he wants to do. He doesn't manipulate the game plan when it comes to and he's found 2 offensive coordinators who are now in head coaching discussions. Dave got a fucking head coaching job. Liam's getting you have to give him credit for that. You have to. And the people who want Liam Cohen to be the next head coach right now, okay, I don't disagree that he should one day be the next head coach. But if he's the head coach right now, who's he bringing with him? Because Stank, when he was hired, do you know who he brought with him to the staff? Nobody. Not a single coach came with him. Not a quarterback coach, not a quality control coach, not an offensive line coach, not a wide receiver coach, not a running back, nothing. Not even a fucking towel boy came with him. He came by himself. So if you fire Todd Bowles, who's this guy bringing in who has no connections in the NFL outside of maybe 2 guys who are coaches right now for the Rams? What's he bringing? Is he going to keep these guys?
That's up to the organization.
But he's a head coach. He would be in charge of that. Is the point I'm making.
There are guys out there. You got Saleh. You got Dennis Allen. You got guys out there you could plug in as defensive coordinators.
Well, I meant for I'd take
building
Dennis
out a
Allen
staff. In a fucking heartbeat.
I would absolutely take him.
But guess what? Dennis Allen with 5 UPS fucking drivers as starters is still going to struggle. It's still going to look like shit out there. So I don't know how much more you can squeeze out of the talent that we had out there, but it's not, we're talking about hypotheticals at this point. He would have to, and Light and Party would have to piece together, come up with a game plan, because you are asking that guy to do a ton with one year of experience in the NFL. So who knows what he was even asked to bring. So it's a hypothetical that as of right now, and I don't know if you guys watched Todd Bowles' press conference, didn't appear to me like a guy that felt like his job was even being questioned. So maybe something changes. The Glazers move in mysterious ways. We've all seen it. If you've been here long enough and you're not a Brady Bucks fan, they fired Tony Dungy while he was in Hawaii coaching the.
I think Stank, there will be a conversation of, hey, maybe between him and Jason Light, of you need to get rid of some of these defensive coaches that you have. Some of these guys who have regressed rooms altogether, like linebacker rooms. Outside pass rushing room with the outside linebackers, and even the safety coach. I don't know their names.
Bro, look at the pieces they have to deal with. The poor linebackers fucking coach. He's got KJ Britt.
No, I know,
every day when he comes
hold on. How about
he
this?
has to hear KJ Britt's fucking mouth and be like, yo, I got to deal with this fucking guy. This is the best you're going to give me. That's
but that would be the fair way of having that conversation with him. Are you willing to, get rid of some of these guys? And if he says no, that's a good way to fire a guy. That happened to Tony Dungy. He was not going to change his offense, and they're like, well, we're not going to fucking watch this anymore. And so they told him to get going. So
Todd answered. I won the Super Bowl with this coaching staff. So in his mind,
no, that's not the same coaching staff anymore. Stank. He got rid of guys last year.
Coaching staff.
He got rid of guys last year.
That was his answer today in the press conference.
He has a new outside linebackers coach. He has a new special teams coach.
He's added some additional pieces, but a lot of those guys have been here.
But the point I was kind of leading to was, damn, I forgot what I was going to say, man. Way to go, Stank.
Listen, bro, sometimes I trump you with my incredible, IQ.
I was going to say, when you said he didn't look like a guy who was under pressure, they went into the last 2 years as a group thinking we are remodeling. and let's just get through this. So if he knows that, and the people who are his bosses know that, like they're all like their expectation is not what they're telling us. They're not really thinking Super Bowl or bust. They have to say that. Everyone fucking says that. Jacksonville fucking Jaguars said Super Bowl or bust. That doesn't mean it's actually fucking true. So they're thinking, let's get through these 2 years. Hey, we've gone from 8, 9, 10 wins. It looks like some stepping stones. Okay, cool. But after this year, when they're actually able, in my opinion, I think they will, they're at pass rushers, corners, linebackers, and free agency and in the draft, they're going to have a different expectation for Todd. And I think that would be a fair thing to do as well, of saying, and that's an easy way to also be able to fire him. If Liam Cohen is back, you can hold a much higher bar and hope that Todd doesn't get to it, and then you got your guy, right? And you've got good pieces and you can roll. I think that's a fair way to go about it. I don't think he's going to lose his job. I really don't think he was ever on the hot seat outside of having a complete meltdown or the team checking out. And people don't talk about this, but the team has not checked out on him.
Oh, he was on the hot seat. At 4-6, he was on the hot seat.
But what happened? But what happened?
Hey, he took that chicken shit, right? He sold it to people as chicken salad. And this offense ultimately helped carry us through to again winning the NFC South. So you got to credit the guy for making the most out of what he has. And overall, it's a 53-man roster. You got something.
We need that special teams.
You got something special brewing. Yeah, special teams quarter needs to be fired right now. You got something special brewing. I feel like on offense, this locker room. Whether you want Todd Bowles fired or not, you have to agree this locker room loves that guy, and we have a good locker room here. I would say we've got it. You said it. I was going to say we have a good culture here. You can't just assume that Todd gets fired and Levante David and a lot of guys who are very loyal to Todd Bowles, by the way,
they're gone.
Are just going to be like, oh, I love this guy too. You don't know what the locker room is going to be like. You don't know how Liam's going to connect with all 53 guys and a staff and a personnel department and you don't know that shit. Look what's going on down in Miami, right? That guy's a fucking genius play caller. Is there anybody, even Gruden was like, holy shit, where is this guy coming up with some of this crazy shit? He's a disaster as a head coach. Disaster. He will not last.
Some guys are just really good offensive coordinators, and it doesn't always mean they're going to be McVay. Doesn't always mean they're going to be Shanahan, who gets the Super Bowls but can't fucking win one. So at that point, like, what is that, right? But there's way more offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators who go get these head coaching jobs and don't pan out, and they still come back and are very good coordinators in their respected, side of the ball. So 1 year in on Liam Cohen, I'm sorry, that's tough, man. Unless it's an absolute, like, you got to get rid of the head coach scenario, which I don't think we're in. We just aren't. I just don't think that's a scenario. And like you said, Stank, how does the locker room react when they love the head coach? They're playing for each other. They're playing for the head coach. And he's such a good guy to them because he doesn't throw them under the bus when he could at times. He takes it on the chin constantly publicly for these guys. Yeah. And at what point, when they see that, they're like, and they don't like when Todd gets the blame. They blame themselves, not publicly, but privately too. Like when we talk to dudes.
That's where I miss Bruce Arians. That's where I miss Bruce Arians.
Sometimes you do need to get your ass chewed out.
He didn't give a fuck. And he would call guys out publicly, and he would publicly put pressure on guys. And by the way, super chats, I'm sorry Sammer's ignoring you because I love you, Jake Maggs. I
just haven't looked.
I love you, Jake Maggs. I appreciate you giving your hard-earned money to Sammer because I've never seen a penny. He said, Jake Maggs, $4.99 super chat said it felt like Commanders converted every 3rd and 10, every 4th down. They didn't, but it did feel that way. They converted enough of them. They played extra aggressive from the get-go. They were going for the win.
They were not going to let us run, and they were not going to let us touch the ball.
Yeah, but they weren't going to settle for field goals either. They were be willing to risk everything. Fernando Fernandez, $5 super chat says, winning it all next year 2, Cohen, Chris Godwin coming back, Bucky RB1 from the start, and the defense reinforcements coming in the draft and free agency. That's got to be the mindset, whether Todd is gone or Todd stays or Liam's the head coach.
There's a window opening for sure.
And one more, Bucs Capital, $2 super chat. He said we need to draft Alabama linebacker edge Jihad Camp.
100%.
Yeah, I'll take that guy. I'll take the kid from Notre Dame.
I want that kid. That's the kid you get right there. That kid right there is a stud from Alabama. You could trade down, get him lower.
19 though.
He's an inside linebacker. These guys aren't going at the top like when we took Devin White. He's a very good. He's a linebacker more than he's an edge.
Inside linebackers, but we need edge pressure and we need
but
corners.
He's not an edge guy. I don't think he is.
We need corners and we need edge guys. So
I'm not a big corner. I'm not a big corner in the first round guy.
That, bro. I'm so sick of
name one.
Out.
Name one.
I don't know. I'm not a draft guy, but there's got to be somebody. There's got to be somebody.
Revis, and then the kid who plays in Denver, and the kid who plays in Denver.
I like that last name. I like that last name.
No, I'm saying Revis was the last one.
Oh, I thought there was Revis' son was in the draft.
No, I mean, yeah, I'd draft him at pick 0 if that was the case.
Sammer, listen, bro. I'm kind of sick of hearing your voice. I want to hear. We promised these people.
We have one.
Yeah, we promised everybody that we let them speak. Okay, and so we're gonna let a few of you guys on here right now. The number's on the screen. The code you got to punch is on the screen. We're not gonna tolerate any shenanigans, any bullshit. Come on here, have a take. Don't suck Jim Rome style, or else you're gonna get run, and we'll move on to the next person. So you said we got one already on the line?
Got one already. So we're finally gonna go to the line. So all
right.
We're 41 minutes in. We'll do this for about 6-7 minutes, and then we're gonna.
Yeah, we'll see.
813 area code. You're on with the Loose Cannons. I give you 60 seconds. You got 90. Yeah, 60 seconds. Give me your take. Go ahead.
You got 10 seconds. Go.
Absolutely. You guys hear me?
We can hear you. Go and turn your radio down or TV or whatever down.
Hey man, I would die for this team. I got a tattoo on my back. I have done everything for this team. I used to do hype videos out in front of Brady's house. I had my girlfriend dress up as a duck for the game yesterday. Ducky the Bucky, Bucky the Ducky, whichever one. But man, I am all out for the Bucs. It was a soul-sucking adventure yesterday. I mean, I have never been more depressed leaving that game. I don't know what the right answer is after that. I don't really have a roast for either of you guys. I really enjoyed the podcast. Can't say
Let me ask you this.
More great things about you.
Did she go to sleep?
Episode.
Did she come to bed in the duck outfit?
Yeah, was it Fucky the Ducky
What's up?
later on? Was it Fucky the Ducky later on?
Oh yeah, we're not playing games here.
Yeah.
Most excellent. That is cool.
Yeah. You are a loose cannon, sir, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you stalking Tom Brady. You know what?
That is very cool,
yeah.
actually.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. That dude, yeah. That's awesome. Wow. This
dude much respect for you guys. I really appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Go Bucs. Listen, I didn't see the duck in the stadium yesterday. You know what?
Oh yeah.
What was up with that? Okay. We hadn't lost. We were undefeated with the duck in the stadium. They brought the duck in. It's a playoff game. I thought they could have like leveled it up. A bunch of ducks on the field. Only ducks. The entire field full of ducks pregame. They didn't do it.
Instead of the flyover.
Instead you got DJs and bands and shit.
Yeah. Instead of the flyover or instead of that stupid drum line thing, give me a line of ducks. Just a whole line of ducks walking through the end zone, the duck line. Yeah. That's how you get a crowd to wake up. Okay.
Yep.
That's how you do it right there with a bunch of ducks, not a drum line.
Pretty dead crowd, by the way. Pretty dead crowd.
Yeah. And you know what, man?
Compared to what it could have been.
It's time. Okay. If we're going to start being taken seriously and we want to turn this thing around and take the next step, we need to get rid of the drum line. Get rid of the drum line. Get rid of the stupid, weird DJ thing that we're doing. We apparently have a rotation of DJs that come through.
Somebody told me Graham Barton gets distracted by the drummers in that drum line, and that's why he keeps on fucking up in critical moments because he's like, oh, look, there's a drummer up there.
Maybe he should join the drum line to learn a little bit of that rhythm and timing.
I like that.
Maybe I like it. Anybody else back there on base?
Anybody else calling? Because I really want to hear from everybody else. Nobody else wants to get it off their chests. You guys want to go and take it to the bed tonight and cry in your pillow. That's fine. That's fine. You have a chance right now, an opportunity, which Sammer does not typically allow, to force him to allow call-ins on this because he wants to talk.
Girly Gamer Nerd said, I think they should make the drum line bigger.
Girly Gamer Nerd, why don't you call in?
No.
It's been a while. You know what? No. You like to talk shit. What are you scared of?
Dub nailed it. Drum line is kind of cringe. I can't lie. Mad respect, but nah. He's right. 100%. The number is on the screen, okay? It's 312-626.
It's literally on the screen.
6799. You have to enter the access code 9955204740. If you don't know what those numbers represent, go ahead and hang up the phone because I'm probably going to call you a fake fan. Okay.
Can we take 47 out there and put 13? Can we change that?
We should take 40 out there and 47 out there.
Hey,
I like that you said
whoa.
47 coming out there first, because I've been roasted and told I was crazy when I said 47. Not that, a little overrated. Yeah. I liked him. Don't get me wrong, but he went to Denver. He played a bunch of games there.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
like
a little bit of a whore. I always appreciate him knocking his brother-in-law out, and he did some big things for us. But
All right, 256 area code. You ready?
Let's go.
256 area code. You're on with the Loose Cannons. This is not a roast episode. We just want you to vent.
You can
enjoy some therapy, and if you do want to roast, Stank's always available. You need to turn your music down.
And he hung up, or she hung up.
And that
whoever that was got scared. Sometimes, and I get it. Sometimes it's time to perform, right? And things are ready, right? It's wet, it's hot. You got Jodeci playing in the background, and sometimes you just get nervous, right? You just can't perform, and you bail, and that's what that caller just did right there. Okay, I get it.
I guess we're getting no more callers tonight. I am very surprised that you guys don't want to call in and complain about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing at home and only scoring 20 points and letting the Washington Redskins march down the field and get a game-winning field goal off a doink, by the way, and ruining Baker Mayfield's amazing season. So I'm very surprised.
Yeah, listen, it's not for everybody. It's intimidating.
Oh, 239's back. They got 239.
Oh, 239. Listen, yeah, maybe he's over the bridge. 239. Bring it.
239. You're on with the Loose Cannons. This is your last chance.
Hello, Samer.
Yep.
Hi. Yeah. So I casually met you a couple of years ago at the first Creamsicle game, the throwback game. So I was hanging out with some Detroit Lions fans. I said, Samir. You said, no, my name is Samer. You said, go Bucs. So my thing is, you are on point with everything, because you know what? Todd Bowles needs to get rid of some of those defensive assistants.
Thank you.
You know what? You need to bring some fresh new blood, fresh ideas, and mix things up, man. That's what Liam Cohen, all these new people they brought. Look at how the offense is. Now he needs to also give up defensive coordinator. He needs to just focus on being a game manager. He needs to just hire somebody who will, he trusts to run that defense. He needs to let go. And that's the only way they're going to take the next step. And they need to build that defense. That defense is pretty crippled and hobbled. And they need edge rusher. They need inside linebacker help. They need help in the secondary, especially cornerback. Jamel Dean gets hurt way too much. So there's a lot of areas that need to be filled. And probably on offense, I don't know, not much that needs help, but whatever they can get. But not just a draft, free agency. So you're on point, man.
Awesome. What a call, dude. One of the best callers we've ever had.
The worst caller we've ever had.
That was.
My name is Abraham for future reference.
Abraham. Great call. Abraham, you are more than welcome.
Abraham, how much does Sam pay you to call in? First of all, this is my show.
No,
Abraham. This is my show too. You didn't even say hello to me, rude, first and foremost.
Stank. I'm sorry. Stank, I'm sorry, but you know what? When Samer said something valid, I got to say he's right, man. He's right.
How much?
So I just had to give. He didn't pay me nothing.
Abraham, you're
welcome. The chat room. Everybody
you
saying
are welcome to call in
caller
every night, Abraham. If you ever want this to be a call-in show, even when it's not, you just DM me and I'll make it a call-in show. You can call in, save the number, man. You're in the Loose Cannons call-in Hall of Fame, man. The call-in fame.
Abraham, is your last name Ali? Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. All right, we're gonna go to 770. You're on with the Loose Cannons. You got 60 seconds, and I don't know how you're gonna follow up that amazing, pristine call.
Anything could be better than that
by
call.
Abraham. 770.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. I think last night, I think what hurt the most is, one, this team is just so much fun to watch. I mean, you got Baker at the helm. It's a guy who just doesn't quit at all. You could be down by 1 million, he's not going to quit.
He's a dog.
And he will throw his body in front of anyone. That time when he struck 3 people for the first down, that was incredible. I was screaming at my TV. I think where it's just tough to watch is it felt like there was a lack of attention maybe from the offense. The defense, I've come to just expect dog shit play, for lack of a better word, especially with the secondary. But the offense, McMillan dropping that pass in the first quarter, I think it was the first drive. Barton having the snap error again. I feel like we've had that issue like week after week where it's been like a weird snap. It's not been on the right time. That's just an aggravating issue. Baker McMillan obviously off schedule on that jet sweep. Like that's a pivotal moment. And then
recording stopped.
Like Cansey is a game disruptor, but in my opinion, it just seemed like he would not finish the drill over and over again. And I'm curious, like, did y'all think the same thing? Like he got in the backfield, but he didn't quite get Jaden Daniels, or he didn't quite get the tackle on a lot of plays. I mean, the guy's a stud, but that was maybe one thing that stood out to me.
He's slippery, man. That's a slippery quarterback.
And it should be more than one guy back there. You got him wrecking the middle, which typically means that there's chaos. And it was just him. You know, Vita made his presence known a couple of different times, but you got to have all the hats to the ball, and that pass rush has got to be one unit. And Cansey is a force, but he needs help. Literally no outside pressure, none. Do you guys remember any outside pressure the whole game? Yeah, I think Yaya on the oh yeah, that's right, the personal foul that Yaya called on, which ended up being a completed pass, I think. But that was about it. Yaya, I think, had one quarterback hit. That's not enough.
He had a good sack, but it got negated by that dumb holding penalty. When that would have been a 4th and long, that would have been a stop. So,
I think I'm a little more bullish on Yaya. I think Yaya's I think he's a good player. He's not elite, but I don't
think he's being coached. I don't think he's being coached well. That's my issue, because you have a guy there that has a lot of raw talent, but he still looks like the same raw talent from last year. He hasn't developed any sort of additional moves. He hasn't learned how to layer moves on top of moves, how to set guys up throughout a game. Stuff that you see from the Von Millers, the Shaq Barretts, the Khalil Macks, the Hutchinsons, like all those guys that know how to. They have games within the game, and that's what they do all afternoon when they're rushing the passer. Yaya doesn't have that, and that's not something that you just kind of innately learn. It's an off season.
Yeah, no, he's a young guy too, bro.
He's young, but I feel like he should have been
tools. He needs more.
He should have been able to add one more to what he had last year. He shouldn't just be try to bend around the corner.
He's had some injuries, that stopped his momentum. So he's the least of my worries, honestly.
I think it's a coaching thing. I don't think it's his fault though. I think it's a coaching thing overall.
Perhaps.
I'm big on Yaya, especially when you compare him to Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. That experiment's over. Like that's cut ties. We got to move on. When you compare him to Yaya, it's like Yaya looks pretty dang good. You know what I mean? I think my last take, and I don't think it's a hot take either, it's we got to go heavy on the defense in the draft and even like free agency. I mean, the offense is there, man. Like Bucky's a stud. I think he averaged like 4.5 yards per carry. He's an absolute stud. He's got the whole stadium screaming his name. Mike Evans came back from injury, still performing like an elite wide receiver when he's like 31, 32 years old. I looked up, he's I think 3rd in the NFL for yards per game. They're gonna focus on defense 100%. That's what I assume they would. If they add anything, maybe another guard, because I don't know how old Bredesen is and how, if they're gonna expect him to perform the way he did and just well enough. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a tackle, because Luke Gedeke might price himself out of Tampa, and that's just unfortunate because he can't pay all these guys. But they've proven that they can find those guys in the draft anyway, so that's not really the end of the world. Hey man, great call. That's another good call. Thank you so much for calling in. We will go to, we're going to have to do these rapid fire so we can get through these because it's getting a little late. So we'll go to 224 area code. You got 60 seconds, 224. Turn your radio down to talk. Hello,
224.
Oh, hello. Yo, what's up, guys?
60 seconds.
What up?
So I went, unfortunately, one of the people that went to this fucking game yesterday, man, and I had to witness, Jamel Dean hurt both of his knees again. Fucking McMuffin fumbled the ball, dropped like 3 passes, dropped a touchdown. I feel like the only 2 people that came to play for that game was Baker Mayfield and Bucky. Didn't feel like anyone else wanted to fucking come to play. Barton, probably the worst first-round pick I've seen outside of JTS. I'm sorry.
What?
I can't fucking stand that. Every game, he gets a stupid-ass excuse. Oh, but he's just a rookie. He fucks us up every game. There's some stupid play he has. Like,
I think you're wrong, but I get what you're saying. I think he's definitely not one of the worst first round picks ever. No, we had a guy.
There's been a lot of really bad.
Look up Kenyatta Walker.
Yeah, look up Kenyatta Walker right now.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. It's frustrating. I think he's a rookie. He's also, people don't forget, he's making a jump from left tackle to center. He hasn't played center since his freshman year in college. And so I think they should have transitioned him by sending him to guard and then to center and having Hainsey play, and do that thing. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, he's been frustrating the last few weeks for sure because he's had high snaps.
At that position, it is magnified, right? Yeah. If you fuck up as a guard, and we've had some really bad guards here, you're like, oh shit, he gave him another sack. This kid's got the ball in his hand every play. He's also responsible for, calling the fucking protections, and he's got a lot to do at a position he's never played at this level. On an offense that's pretty fucking complicated. So I got high hopes that they'll eventually get it right with him, but has he been fucking frustrating to watch at times?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the guy for the Steelers, man, Zach Frazier. I mean, I've seen him. He's played a lot better than Barton has, and he was like second round pick.
That's because Frazier has played center his entire career, and he's also a wrestling background guy. So he's going from center to center. There's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for Graham, and that's not an excuse. That's just context. But that, again, speaks to what their expectation of the season is going in. If they knew that there was a learning curve for that guy and they were really thinking Super Bowl or bust, well, you would probably think they'd play him at guard and let the guy who's already plays center and has chemistry at his center in front of Baker just play that, because Hainsey could have just continued on, who also was going through a contract year this year. So he's definitely gone. You would have at least gotten something out of him, and you would have been pushing for that Super Bowl window, quote unquote. So again, that speaks to it. They understood that Graham was going to have to learn, but I think he's going to be a fucking stud for many years. You got to deal with that freshman. You got to deal with that rookie year. Well, it is what it is, man.
Hey, thanks for being a good Bucs fan and representing, unlike the 20,000 Bucs fans who sold their tickets to the opposing fan base. Sammer, you said something earlier. We talked about this actually before we started recording, and I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit more because I feel like nobody's talking about it. And that is these last 2 years, the organization, I think they were incredibly surprised by what we got out of Baker, and we've hit it out of the park these last 2 seasons. But from a personnel standpoint, these were rebuilding years.
Mm-hmm. As Jason has said it, publicly and privately, they were remodeling. They weren't rebuilding because that's got a very negative connotation because they weren't really wiping the slate clean. But they went into the last 2 years, honestly, thinking this is kind of a remodel. Let's get through these. Let's kind of pay our credit card bill. Let's get through these contracts that are hitting us hard so we can finally get to a point where we can actually add real pieces and go out and really shop. And then hopefully in that time frame, we develop some of these guys that we draft. Hopefully we hit on some good drafts. And I think the last 2 drafts have been very, very good. And I think they've been pleasantly surprised that not just because of the division, but they were able to actually grow and win and cultivate the culture and continue to grow. And then, of course, like you said, Stank, Baker Mayfield. So that's why I keep saying, like, where they're at over these last 2 years is kind of a surprise to them. They weren't going into this thinking that this was a Super Bowl team, that they were a playoff team. They were just, just don't, have the whole thing fall apart. Don't go into a Greg Schiano scenario, Lovie Smith scenario, anything like that. And you just continue on. And then it really starts to matter in 2025. And here we are, 8, 9, 10 wins. Now we're at the 2025 offseason. And now they have some money to play with and go out there and get some actual pieces. And then I think you really can't give any sort of excuse for Todd Bowles. Aside from the criticism that I think have been fair of him, some of the stuff with the horses he's got to run, Stank, that'll go away. I think that excuse will go away. They'll make sure that excuse is removed going into next season, because at that point, you got to make a decision, right? One way or the other. He's been here. Are we going to do it with this guy? Is he going to get us to a Super Bowl? Let's put as much in that basket as possible, and then let's see. And at that point, he digs his grave or he builds his statue. And I'm cool with that, right? And I think that's the fair way to do it. And I think that's ultimately what's going to happen. But I do think that he does need to make changes to the staff. The guy who called in and said he should give up play calling duties, that's not going to happen, in my opinion. It's his baby, and I respect that. If you're going to go down, you go down with your shit. You don't go down and say, man, I lost because I let this guy call defensive plays and it came. You're going to go down with your thing. It's your recipe. You're the one who's going to stir that pot. That's fair. And the only guy he would probably give it up to is his assistant head coach, who's never called defensive plays in the NFL. So I don't want that. I'd rather have Todd do it, even if it comes with some schematic inefficiencies at times, over the guy who's never done it before and has no experience. So to that point, yeah.
And to point out some of the other issues with this defense, don't forget Zion McCollum. This is his first year as a full-time starter.
Up and down, too.
Right? You got Tyke Smith, a draft pick. He played his ass off first half of the season. Got injured and has been asked to do a lot. Christian Izien, unrestricted free agent, at times is flash. KJ Britt and the rest of that linebacker room, it was full of guys who, weren't drafted high, weren't expected to do much. You're asking a lot of a defense who's missing major pieces and has zero fucking depth on top of it. And we were still able to win 10 games, win the division, and gave Washington all they can handle in a game we should have won. Winnable game, which is why it's so fucking frustrating.
We got a lot of young pieces too, man. We're the second youngest team in the NFL. People don't mention that often enough, I think, and that comes with learning and comes with growth pains and things of that nature. But you got Kalijah Kancey, who I think is going to be really fucking good. He's proven it. You've got Zion McCollum, who went up and down this year. I think he's going to understand that finding the ball, tracking the ball is going to be the thing he needs to work on in the offseason and taking that next step and becoming even better. It takes corners, in my opinion, 3 years, regardless of where they're drafted. A lot of the top corners in the NFL are not first-round picks, guys. Outside of the kid who plays for Denver, you don't know. You don't know where these guys are getting drafted at, and they just take time to develop. They just need 3 years. You got Tyke Smith, who's going to be a fucking dog. He's going to be a stud. I think Logan Hall has proven that he's got a place on this team. Right? He's not Warren Sapp. He's not Vita Vea. He's not Kalijah Kancey, but he had a good year, man. Honestly, under the radar, done his job. JTS gone, obviously, but we have a lot of young pieces, man, on both sides of the ball, and that's good shit. Guys that we drafted, guys that you can count on, guys that you don't have to pay right now. That's what's a big part of that. But Stank, we got 3 more callers. Let's get through these fucking things.
Let's get through them.
Yep.
Yeah, and King Snake, we're a big meat riding podcast. I don't know if this is your first time watching. We are a meat centric show. Samurai Lee is a professional meatist. So welcome to the show.
Bucs fans were calling Kancey a bust the first few weeks while he was out. Yeah, people are fucking dumb. Our fan base has a lot of stupidity in it, guys.
I saw somebody say fire Liam Cohen after the game last night.
Liam Cohen should have been fired, apparently. Somebody said Zion McCollum should just be cut.
Yep. Somebody asked where Izzy is. Izzy got fired. I don't know if
And I was so upset with the that fumble. I've literally fired.
He took it down to Izzy. You know what? That was unfair.
224 area code. You don't have to lose cannons. You got 60 seconds.
Turn your radio down. 224.
And I was so upset with the.
I think 224 already called in.
Well, 224 lost.
I think you took him. Yeah, I think we already talked to that guy.
We'll go to 984. You're on with the loose cannons. You literally have 60 seconds, and I'm going to cut you off. Go. 984. You have 60 seconds. Go.
All right. Jake Maggs with the 199 super chat. Savase Dennis, sneaky good. Yeah, hopefully he can stay healthy. We'll see how good he really is.
All right. 808 area code. You don't have to lose cannons. You have 60 seconds to go. I will cut you off.
Yo, you cut me off, bro. I kind of like the show. You guys are pretty awesome. Yo, so I watched the game, and not going to lie, I had a lot of fun. Like, even though we lost, the future looks bright. Looks better than the 3-13 year we had, the 4-12 year we had, the 2-14 year we had.
Yeah. Hey, real quick.
Hey, there's a lot of. Yo, what's up?
Real quick, man. You sound like Vita Vea. Is this Vita?
Is this Vita
Vea? Nah. Just another island boy, bro. Just another island boy.
Nailed it. All right, go ahead. Continue your take. You're nailing it, by the way.
Yeah, no, man. Like, yeah. So, yeah, just another island boy.
You threw him off.
My bad.
I think this is Vita Vea. I think it's Vita.
I think I called him.
Have you ever put mayonnaise on your pizza?
Well, first of all, no, that's disgusting. Ranch though, ranch is a killer though.
No, man.
I do that.
It's not a ranch. We don't tolerate ranch talk on the show.
Bro. Don't even try
we don't do ranch.
We don't do ranch on the show.
I feel like that's a southern thing though. When I was visiting the South, bro, that's what y'all did.
We're a blue cheese show, blue cheese specific.
I'm a blue cheese bouge.
Yes, blue cheese on the wings are amazing. I get it.
Blue
I
cheese
love
on
it too.
pizza. Blue cheese
I
on
haven't
pizza.
tried it. Maybe next time. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, hey, we won the division, so we lost the game in the playoffs. But still, man, the future is bright. Look at the coaches. The players didn't stop playing for Todd Bowles, and a whole bunch of other teams got coaches that lost, and the players, you saw them quit way through. So again, I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. That's all I got. I mean, the rest of the future of the Bucs.
Hell yeah, the offseason.
Appreciate the call, Vita. We appreciate the call, man. I know you're upset. You know, it's a long off season coming. You know, for you to take your time out and call the show, Vita, that's big of you, man. And we already know, you Loose Cannons alumni. So, hey, call back anytime, Vita. Yeah, even if you have to do it under a pseudonym. Listen,
season's over. A little bit positive to that is now we can get some of these players that I've been, in talks with, and getting these guys after they had a couple weeks off. Start getting their thoughts, right? Talk to some of these dudes and get a little perspective. Be interesting. So you guys definitely stay tuned. We're going to have some fun this offseason, not just like with free agency coverage and the draft talk and stuff like that we're going to go into and whatnot. We will have a live draft show again. Couldn't do it last year, unfortunately, because my dad passed away that afternoon. So we had to kind of axe the show, but I don't have another dad. So we're having a draft show this year, no problem. But yeah, I probably have some cool player interview shows like we've been doing in the past. I'm going to give 984 one more shot. All right, 984, you're on with the Loose Cannons, and then that's it. We're out of here. Nope.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Oh, whoa. 984.
There it is.
You got 60 seconds. Go.
There it is.
I thought overall it was an encouraging year. Honestly, I'm not part of the Fire Bowles train. I think he did all right with what he had, like you guys mentioned. But I think we might have to adjust the scheme a little bit, less blitz heavy, knowing that we're 32nd against the pass. Might be some looking in the mirror needs to go into the offseason as far as how we deploy our corners and our secondary. If you know your pieces are like that, you kind of want to play a little bit more conservative in certain instances. But overall, a lot of good rookies from this class. So we just need to load up on defense going into 2025. That's good.
Great call. Listen, I'm glad I let you in and I gave you another shot because that was
all solid points. Very good points. We appreciate all the callers. Denver doesn't allow this to happen very often. Maybe during the offseason, it'll allow it to happen a little bit more, especially if we get good quality callers on here. And those who come on scared or make excuses like, I have to feed my kids. Like, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck your kids.
Fuck your kids. We don't care about your children. We don't care about any type of children.
This is a children's podcast.
Right. Like, except for my old man grandfather.
He's like 75 years old.
He's 75. Different. He's not really a child.
That's not a child. Yeah. So listen, these random call-in shows that I'm going to allow, it's up to you guys. You guys behave like you did tonight. Okay, with the exception of the fucking ranch guy, you guys behave. Then you know what? I'll do this more often.
I like Vita in the ranch.
But most of the time, you guys don't behave. You guys come in here acting like fucking idiots. And you know what? I don't fucking have to listen to you guys act like fucking idiots. I already got half the show is a fucking idiot. So
you mean a bucking idiot?
Yeah, a bucking idiot, literally. So and also, Stank, how off season's coming up? You bringing bucking idiots back? Yes or no?
I am bringing bucking idiots back.
Okay,
it's official. Right. You heard it here first. Bucking idiots will be back next season, not just for 1 week, not just for 2 weeks. All the way through the Super Bowl, as we hoist the Lombardi Trophy, I'll be on the boat. Me, Liam, Sammer, Todd, Jason. Right? Maybe I'll live stream from the boat. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned. We're not going away. We're not going away. This show continues to go on. This is a year-round show. Got lots and lots. This started off as a draft show, and it would always be a ridiculous amount of draft content. And there's still going to be a shit ton to talk about here, especially in the coming weeks.
We have some fun coming up. But listen, I'm going to end the show with giving you guys some homework, okay? The comment section. After the show, you guys need to leave in the comment section, what jersey number am I replacing the 47 on the call-in code with? Okay, so when you guys get the call-in on the show, you got to enter the code 995520 4740. We've all kind of been in agreement that 47 needs to be removed from the code. But who are we replacing with? 54? 13? Dare I say it? 12? I don't want to say it, but who should we be replacing that number with? Should it be 2 in honor of Kyle Trask?
That'd be my vote. Yeah, we're gonna do a whole show on, everybody's like, who's gonna be our coach next year? Right? Is Levante gonna retire?
Kyle Trask.
Nobody's talking about what's gonna happen with Kyle.
What's in store for Kyle? What's in store for Kyle? The next episode. That should be it, right? Yeah, 55's in there. We know that.
55, by the way, he didn't look like he wanted to be there yesterday. If you were at the game, they showed him on the Jumbotron. Wasn't really happy. Wasn't wearing any Bucs shit at all.
We got to vote for 76.
Going on, Derek.
47. Should we put 76?
Donovan Smith?
Yeah, instead of 47. He's won a Super Bowl. He won 2 Super Bowls, actually. No, I mean, one for us. But, yep. Hey, listen, make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out, please. Leave us a comment. Give us your vent. Give us your take. Should Todd be back? What do you want Todd to come back with in terms of changes if he's back? Should he be gone? Should it be Liam Cohen? Whatever. I tell Stank it's his fault that we lost. Blame him. That's great. That's good stuff. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Hit the like button. We will see you guys. I don't know if we'll be back this week or if we'll just shoot over until Monday. I will be coaching basketball at 7 o'clock on Mondays and Tuesdays from here on out during the next few weeks. So probably going to adjust our schedule on Monday nights. Maybe do once a week, maybe a Wednesday, Thursday. We don't know. We'll figure it out. So fuck the Commanders, okay? Fuck the Saints. Fuck the Rams. And fuck the Eagles. And you know what? Fuck the Lions, too.
Fuck the Lions. Fuck the NFC.
Fuck the entire NFC. And fuck the Chiefs. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
It's kickoff, set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters.